And now, it's WCMT News.
And hello again, everyone, and here's the latest from the WCMT Newsroom, and I'm Christopher Stockdale reporting. Legendary television actor Andy Griffith, who made a name for himself with his self-titled comedy show, The Andy Griffith Show, and later on the long-running series Matlock, died yesterday at the age of 86 years old. Griffith's career spanned more than a half-century on stage, film, and television, but he'll always be best known as Sheriff Andy Taylor in the television show set in a North Carolina town not too different from Griffith's own hometown of Mount Airy, North Carolina. Interim Sheriff of the University of Tennessee at Martin Communications Department, Dr. Robert Nanny, said Andy Griffith and his show was something he always enjoyed and was actually part of a fan club.
Back in the mid-'80s, I was part of a weekly county chapter of the Andy Griffith Rerun Watchers Club. It was kind of a fun thing that started, and I was sort of the co-chairperson of that, and we had a lot of fun with it, but there also was a lot of interest back home. Dr.
Nanny added he actually had a producer of the show as a professor when he was in college.
I got my doctorate at Ohio University from 1990 to 92. I did my coursework there, and one of my professors, Andy's manager, his name was Dick Link. He was also an associate producer of the Andy Griffith Show. I got a lot of insight there and became a great friend of Mr. Link, who is now retired and living in Hawaii in his early to mid-90s now, but he's the guy that covered Andy Griffith.
Dr. Nanny said this was a huge loss to the entertainment world, and there may never be someone to influence pop culture like Griffith did.
A really deep, sad loss for anybody who has ever been a fan of the Andy Griffith Show, but even more than that, he had such an influence on pop culture, on the fact that he really reflected and shared a lot of the small Southern values that we all certainly identified with. That's why it rings so true back home, because Andy made sure it was genuine, because that reflected his upbringing.
In a 2000 interview, Griffith said the Andy Griffith Show, which initially aired from 1960 through 1968, was seen somewhere in the world every day. And that was the latest from the WCMT Newsroom, and I'm Christopher Stockdale with WCMT News.